Have you ever wondered why some people seem to walk through life with a heavier weight than others? You do all the right things. You pray, you try to live with integrity, and yet your path feels steeper, more painful, less understood. It is not your imagination. Those who are chosen by God often face unique battle storms that others cannot comprehend. It can feel as though the enemy himself has painted a target on your back. If you recognize this, perhaps you are one of them, set apart for a higher purpose, marked for something greater than the ordinary. But here lies the paradox: being chosen does not mean an easier life. On the contrary, it often means walking through valleys of deep pain that shape your spirit, trials that feel like punishment, but are in truth signs of divine calling. These struggles confuse you, but they also transform you. They strip away illusions and force you to depend not on the applause of people, but on the steady approval of God alone. Maybe you've cried alone at night, unable to explain why suffering follows you so persistently. Maybe friends have drifted away without explanation. Maybe you feel as though you carry a burden invisible to everyone else. If so, hear me. You are not crazy. You are not being punished, and most importantly, you are not alone. Across centuries, chosen ones have endured exactly what you are enduring. And just as they discovered, your pain is not wasted. It is a tool in God's hands, forging you into someone extraordinary. Let us walk through the 5 pains that mark the life of those chosen by God. By seeing them clearly, you will understand your journey better, and you will find strength to keep going. The pain of rejection. Do you remember that friend who stopped calling, the family member who began looking at you differently, the colleagues who no longer invite you? Rejection arrives suddenly, knocking without warning. One day, people are by your side, the next they are gone. You replay your actions, searching for mistakes, but often you find none. The truth is this: you haven't changed, your light has, and that light disturbs those who dwell in shadows. The chosen carry a presence that convicts without words. Simply by existing, you challenge the values and compromises others would rather ignore. It is easier for them to push you away than to confront their own need for change. Even Jesus was not spared this pain. His own family doubted him, his neighbors dismissed him. "Isn't this the carpenter's son?" they scoffed. If the Son of God endured rejection, do not be surprised when you experience the same. This pain has a purpose. It teaches you to depend less on human validation and more on God's. When applause surrounds you, it is easy to confuse popularity with divine approval. But rejection clears the path. It reminds you that your calling is not to please people, but to follow the one who called you. God also uses rejection as protection. Many who walk with you today cannot journey with you tomorrow. Their presence would slow you down, pull you back, or hinder the steps ahead. So God, in His mercy, removes them from your circle. What feels like abandonment is often divine filtering. Today's closed door is tomorrow's shield. Do not waste time forcing your way back into relationships God has already ended. Bless those who leave. Love them from a distance. Understand that some people are not permanent characters in your story. They are temporary. Their role is complete. When they go, trust that God is making space for those who truly belong in your future. The pain of loneliness. There is a kind of loneliness that no company can cure. You can sit in a room full of people, smiling, laughing, even participating, yet inside, you feel utterly alone. The chosen know this loneliness well. Why? Because you carry visions that few understand. You dream of things that others would call madness. You see eternity while they see only tomorrow. You think of ministry while they talk about business. You sense spiritual battles while they discuss politics. It feels like you live on a different frequency, one that separates you from even those you love. This loneliness has a name: purposeful loneliness. It is the silence of walking toward a destiny no one else can see. Others may care about you, but they cannot carry the vision God placed in your heart. That weight is yours alone, and carrying it can be exhausting. Jesus himself felt this. In Gethsemane, he asked his disciples to watch and pray with him. Instead, they slept. As he sweated blood in anguish, he prayed, "Father, if possible, take this cup from me." Even the incarnate Son knew the crushing solitude of being misunderstood. If you have felt the sting of praying through tears while no one around you grasped your burden, take heart, you are not abnormal. You are chosen. This loneliness is not a curse. It is an incubator. It is in solitude that God speaks most clearly. When human voices fade, the divine voice grows louder. John the Baptist heard his message in the desert. John the Revelator saw visions in exile on Patmos. Paul wrote letters in prison that shaped the world. Each revelation was born in solitude. Do not despise this season. The loneliness that wounds also trains. It forges resilience. It prepares you to comfort others with the same comfort you yourself received. And one day, God will connect you with others who speak your language, who see the horizon you see. But until then, your solitude is a forge making you ready for what is to come. The pain of inner conflict inside every chosen one lies a battlefield unseen by others. On one side, your spirit longs for God. On the other, your flesh resists. You rise to pray, but feel sleepy. You open scripture and lose focus. You vow to fast, but find temptation at every turn. The guilt that follows is heavy, almost unbearable. You may wonder, if I truly loved God, why would I feel this way? Yet even Paul confessed, "I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing." If this giant of faith wrestled within himself, how much more will we? The truth is that the chosen feel temptation more fiercely because the enemy knows your potential. He designs his attacks precisely for your vulnerabilities. If you are called to preach, he will test your tongue. If you are called to lead, pride will haunt you. If you are called to worship, vanity will tempt you. The most painful part is looking at others who seem to walk with ease, untouched by such battles. You may even think something is wrong with you. But understand this: the absence of inner war is not always victory, it may be surrender. Those who feel nothing have often given up the fight. Your conflict is proof of life, a sign that the Spirit is at work within you. This war does not disappear in this life. What changes is your response, your recovery, your humility. Every fall becomes an opportunity to rise again, to lean more fully on grace. And every battle, though wearying, deepens your dependence on God. The pain of renunciation. Those chosen by God often face the call to let go again and again. Sometimes it begins with small things, a show that no longer feels right for your spirit, a song that unsettles your soul, a habit that once seemed harmless but now weighs on your conscience. Over time, the renunciations grow deeper. Friendships that once felt secure begin to hold you back. Career paths that seemed promising suddenly clash with your calling. Even the place you called home may no longer fit God's plan. And sometimes the hardest part is this: what God asks you to release is not always bad. It may even look like a blessing to others, a relationship, an opportunity, a promotion. But what is good for them may be a distraction for you. Abraham had to leave his land, family, and comfort. Moses turned his back on the palace. Paul considered his former achievements as worthless compared to Christ. Each act of letting go is painful, but each opened the door to something far greater. Renunciation feels like subtraction, but in God's mathematics, it is preparation for multiplication. He prunes what no longer fits so that new growth can emerge. To obey is to empty your hands of what you love so that they can receive what is better. Each tear you shed while surrendering is a seed of future joy. The pain of waiting. Perhaps the hardest pain of all is waiting. Time feels different for the chosen. While the world rushes forward, you seem stuck in slow motion. Days stretch into months, months into years, and still the promise remains unfulfilled. You pray and hear silence. You seek answers and find only closed doors. You begin to wonder, did I misunderstand God? Did he forget me? Joseph knew this pain, languishing in prison while his dreams gathered dust. David was anointed king, yet spent years fleeing in caves. Both carried promises, yet both endured long delays that seemed cruel and endless. But these delays were not punishment, they were preparation. The waiting refined their character so they could carry the weight of the promise when it finally arrived. For you, the same is true. The desert seasons are not wasted time. They are classrooms in which faith is tested and deepened. When prayers feel unanswered, trust is being stretched. When doors remain shut, obedience is being proved. And though your heart cries out in impatience, God's timing is always perfect. The meaning behind the pain when you weave together rejection, loneliness, inner conflict, renunciation, and waiting, you see the true pattern. These pains are not random. They are not signs that God has abandoned you. They are markers of His calling on your life. Each one serves a purpose. Rejection shifts your trust to God. Loneliness sharpens your ear for His voice. Inner conflict humbles you and keeps you dependent. Renunciation frees your hands for greater gifts. Waiting strengthens your endurance and enlarges your faith. Your journey is not easy, but it is meaningful. While many live on the surface, you are being called to the depths. While others chase comfort, you are being prepared for purpose. God sees in you a brilliance that you cannot yet imagine. Every cut, every loss, every tear is shaping you into the vessel He designed from the beginning. One day, what feels unbearable will make sense. You will see that the nights you spent weeping were seeds of future harvest. You will recognize that every no was an opening for a greater yes. And when the promise finally arrives, you will say with confidence, "It was worth it." Every tear, every rejection, every lonely night, it was all worth it. So if you feel different, if you feel misunderstood, if you feel the weight of battles unseen, remember this: you are chosen. And the chosen do not walk easy paths, but they walk meaningful ones. Do not give up. The best is yet to come.